All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a beautiful day in the velodrome. I think the temperatures are slightly off from yesterday, which means it'll be merely comfortable instead of downright sweltering. The weather outside is frightful, but in here it's so delightful. We're gonna start off this lovely Sunday morning at the Western Track Challenge with a little thing called the team sprint. So the team sprint is a pretty simple event. There's going to be 2 laps. All right, we're calling up the riders. So we have one junior women's team setting a time here tonight. That will be the Cannondale Powered by Fortia's team of Annabella Stoll-Dancero. I'd like to thank Zach Stoll-Dancero for the correction on that pronunciation, and Lily Ujfaluzzi. Zach was very bemused. He noted that it was in fact pronounced the same EAU sound as in Cousineau, which for some reason I should probably understand. Very well. So Ujfaluzzi will be lined up in the Start-O-Matic starting gate, and Stoll-Dancero will be lined up just above her. All right, so the delicate art of running the starting machine has been handled. The riders are loaded into position. It's Ujfaluzzi in the green jersey in the start machine. She will lead this out, I believe. And Stoll-Dancero up top in the red Cycling BC skin suit. And away they go. Ujfaluzzi in the start lane. She's rolling it out. And then you'll see Stoll-Dancero drop onto her wheel. Ujfaluzzi will pull off after this lap, and away she goes, and now it's all Stoll-Dancero. She's got to finish out this race. She got a draft for the first half, and now it's all on her. Ujfaluzzi cruises out. And Stoll-Dancero comes to the line, and we're done. We'll get a time on that any moment. I think unofficially it's going to be a 33.6 second sprint. Official time is 33.632 seconds. It's almost a 43-kilometer-an-hour sprint. Not bad. Next, we have more of the women's team sprint action. This time it's the senior category, the elite or open class. Folks, I have to emphasize, the teams enter under these names themselves. I don't make these names up for them. We are loading into the gate Team Daddy's Princesses. In the start gate, number 317 in the light blue beachy jersey. That would be princess number 1, Samantha Hargraves. And just above Samantha, her co-princess in this bike race, number 326 in the predominantly white jersey, Annabelle Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a princess fly? You will. princesses are away. Hargraves will lead the first lap. Thomas drops onto her wheel, and off they go. Good fast start by these two riders. Two princesses enter, one princess leaves. Thomas takes the second lap all by herself, as is normal for a team sprint. She's powering through corner 3, corner 4. And that's it. The princesses have abdicated with a time of 35.0 seconds. Official time is up now, a 41 kilometer an hour lap, 35.026 seconds. All right, now we have the second women's team sprint in this final round. Loading into the gate, wearing the green Saskatchewan kit, we've got rider number 322, Micaiah Besler. She will be partnering with rider number 324, wearing the blue TCNF kit, McKenna McKee. And they will be racing as the Double Max. They had McDouble right there, but they went for Double Mac. Just saying, just saying. And away they go. Steady start out of the gate by Besler. She will lead out this first lap for her teammate, McKee. And they are powering through. You can already see this is going to be a fast lap by the Double Mac. Besler pulls off. We're down to a single Mac, McKenna McKee. She's going to finish off this team sprint. And the Big Mac attack is over. Unofficial time, 33 seconds flat. 43.5 kilometers an hour. And that puts Double Mac ahead with an official time of 33.009. They are your women's team sprint winners. Nicely done. Sorry, princesses. All right. Now we're going to move right along into the men's team sprint final. So lined up here from bottom to top. For elite, we have Keith Bruno. From the Split Mangoes in this composite team, we have Guy, not Guy McClintock. And right at the top, recently a birthday boy, Tyler Davies. They are racing tonight, this morning, as the Flying Gorillas. So get going, you big apes. We'll wait for the beeps and then we'll watch them roll. These riders will be doing 3 laps, not 2, 1 lap each in the lead. So And away they go. Strong move out of the gate by Keith Bruno. McClintock right on his wheel. Davies slotting into position. A little bit of a gap there, but that might not be wrong. As you'll see McClintock power onto Bruno's wheel as he rushes in. McClintock is surging along. He's got a steady pace. You can see Tyler just waiting, and Tyler's going. It's all Tyler now. He's the last of these three gorillas. The first split was 29 seconds. And Davies is done. Unofficial time, 41.4 seconds for that 600-meter sprint. It's a 52-kilometer run from a standing start. That's some impressive moving out. All right, loading into the gate now. We've got our next team. Let's introduce you to them top to bottom. Up top from the Jerry's Baker, that would be rider number 224, Benjamin Racknes. Right beneath him, rider number 129. He's the middle of this thick Jagger sandwich. I'm not making that up. That's what they call themselves. Ryan Doddick. And plugged into the start machine, Michael Coolhand, go. Together they are racing as Thick Jagger. I'm going to need a small child to explain this name to me. Memes are a complicated and confusing concept. With a slap of his thigh, Go gets into the ready position. And away we go with a roar. Thick Jagger not going quietly. Go off. Duddick on that wheel. Racknes actually has some work to get back to his teammates. Guys, you better check where your third man is. Oh dear. This is not exactly a textbook team sprint, but you guys do you. Thick Jagger. Thin optimization. Cheer on this young rider. Racknes did pretty darn good last night. And he crosses the line. For all that trouble, not bad. A totally respectable 42.24 seconds. That's a 51-kilometer-an-hour run. With some hard heckling in the infield, but the competing riders got a little bit quieter when they heard what the actual time was. So. All right, next riders, we should have Pickrell, Sato, and Moore up. So who have we got here? We've got Riley, the manager, Pickrell. We saw him administer a textbook points race at the end of last night's Omnium. He will be lining up with his former rival, now turned teammate, Mark the Shadow Sato. So Sato is right up on top, and the middle of this Three Musketeer sandwich is Manu Moore. So Moore's in the green Cannondale kit with the white helmet. Oop. I think we have a slightly overmanned holder here. We're getting a larger person to take over. We won't name that young man. He's been doing some great work for us as a volunteer all week. He's much better on the lap board, I assure you. Basically. And the beep goes on. Pickrell takes the lead. Manu Moore dropping onto his wheel. The shadow, Mark Sato, right there. Watch out, Ryler, getting away from your teammates. It's becoming less of a lead out and more of a solo show here for a moment. And Pickrell pulls away. Now it's Manu Moore. He's on the front. He's pulling Sato around. It's going good. First lap in 16 seconds. They actually had a real good one. And now it's Sato, the shadow. He offers no resistance to the air. And he's done. 44.303 seconds. Not a bad ride for these young riders. Racing as the Three Musketeers. They're so young, they didn't get to the book where they added a fourth musketeer. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we have the team of Nolan Adams, Andrew Baker, and David Miller. This team is reminding me a little bit of ZZ Top, where you'll remember the motif for ZZ Top was two guys with long beards and one guy named Frank Beard. These team will be racing as Team Facial Hair. So from the top we have rider number 42 for the Broadmark Capital team, Andrew Baker in the yellow and black kit. The middle rider, also with a beard, David Miller, splits mango. And that leaves in the start gate number 222, the beardless member of Team Facial Hair, Nolan Adams. He claims he has a mustache, but from 10 feet you cannot see it. Nolan Adams' mustache is also nicknamed the Shadow. And Adams takes the lead, slightly slaggishing start. Miller getting on to that wheel, kind of, sort of. Nolan not so much doing a lead out as perhaps an advanced scouting effort. And now Miller's on the front, finally. Miller powering through. He had some pretty strong results last night, despite the stick I give him. And the duties go to Andrew Baker. He will finish off this sprint. He's a powerful rider. He's pulling hard. And he's going to stop the clock in 45.18 seconds, 47 kilometers an hour. It's a very respectable time for a 250-meter race. Tragically, this was 300. Tragically, this was a 600-meter race, but they're doing okay. We still love these guys. So if you're following along at home, that means we've got the men's team sprint final results for you. Your winners, with a time of 52 kilometers an hour, the Flying Gorillas. Your runner-up, Getting it done when it mattered, Thick Jagger. And coming in a respectable third place, not that far behind, the Three Musketeers. Next, we're doing the junior men team sprint, and this is going to be the triple shot team. Loaded into the gate, we have Trevor McFarlane. Rider number 2, middle of the track, will be Alen Fazlagic. And right up top, the tiny terror, Remy Garrison. McFarlane pulls, oh, there's a gun. False start for some reason.
For some reason, because it was a false start.
So, false start has been charged to one of the riders. I think it was the middle rider in our race. Meanwhile, there's an infield fall by a rider who should know better and shall remain nameless. So I think we just bring these juniors back.
Bring them back up. Yeah. It's rider number 2.
So rider number 2, I believe that was Alen Fazlagic, who will be charged with the false start. There's no penalty for that as long as they get away cleanly this time. I believe it's 2 faults for a foul. So they will just reload into the gate, restart, and everything's going to be fun. So we've got them reloaded.
Madison that we did, it would have been good. I would have loved to know about 9:30 last night on this one.
And we're away. No gun on this one. It's a clean start. McFarlane doing the lead out here. Fazlagic cleanly onto his wheel. And Remy Garrison in good order. This is a well-drilled team, I'd say. And they're coming around in nice fast time. McFarlane pulls off. Fazlagic in the lead. And Alen takes it the bit between his teeth. He's leading out the only young man here who could get a draft off of him. And into the lead goes Remy Garrison. He will close out this 600-meter junior team sprint. And he's done. 47.647 seconds. 45 kilometers an hour for the triple shot triplets. Next up, officially listed as mixed, but we call them the Speedy Burritos. This team will consist of number 47, Parker Swanstrom, as their first lead-out rider, the one loaded into the start machine. Rider number 2 will be number 48 in the tag cycling kit, Aiden Crocker. And then up top, we've got another Dr. Walker rider, powerful Luke Hubner. I believe he was the winner of last night's Junior Omnium. And the beeps go on. And a nice clean release for these 3 riders. I don't think this is the first time for any of them. Swanstrom in the lead. Crocker cleanly on his wheel. Hubner lagging just slightly, but he'll get there. Crocker pulls off. Sorry, Crocker is in the lead now. Swanstrom is pulled off. Crocker powers around through lap 2. They had a good first split. Crocker away, Hubner for the finish. Cheer this young rider on. Come on, Luke, you can do it. And the Speedy Burritos stop the clock at 47.647 seconds, a 45-kilometer-an-hour ride. Oh, my mistake. 44.549. They have a 48-kilometer-an-hour ride. And with the Speedy Burritos are the winner of the Junior Men Team Sprint Final. Congratulations to them. And also congratulations to the Triple Shots. This was an all Vancouver Island Junior Team Sprint. Next up, we have the U17 Men's Team Pursuit Finals. We will have a single team riding this team pursuit. And this will be a composite team. Looks like we're going to have Mark Sato, Manu Moore, Remy Garrison, and Itai Malakoff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Riley Pickrell with us. I saw him getting treated this morning for some of his fun hurdies that he got yesterday. So, Riley, tell me what happened yesterday.
About 3 of us went down, and we got about 400 splinters through my back. Yeah, that's about it.
So, not your favorite track experience of all time?
No, but it's really growing into me. Yeah.
Thank you, Riley. At least he can keep a sense of humor about it. And we're looking for great things for you here today. You racing a few more events before you go?
Yeah, I think I'm racing Team Pursuit with a bunch of U15-year-olds, so I'm going to roll them.
Best of luck. Thanks a lot. All right, folks, you're going to have to help me workshop a better name for this pursuit team. So they're going under Triple Shot Cannondale Jer, representing their three teams, the Triple Shots. Triples Shot? I'm not sure which way you pluralize that. The Jerry's Baker, I'm sure that's right. And the Cannondale powered by Fortia's team. So we're going to call this team Jerry Baker Cannon Shot. I think that's a way better name. So the Jerry Baker Cannon Shots are loaded in. Let's go from bottom to top. Loaded into the start machine. We've got Mark the Shadow. One of those things. Mark Sato the Shadow. He gives a thumbs up on that second try. He's wearing number 205, green kit, black helmet. His teammate Manu Moore apparently experimenting with a cyclocross start here. I think they're just fixing the track a little bit and setting up some marks for him. So that'll be Manu Moore, green kit, white helmet. Lining up just above him in the triple shot kit, that will of course be number 244, Remy Garrison. And at the top of your track from the Jerry Baker Velodrome, Itai Malakoff. And I'll give a little shout out to the Edwards, who I see up there in the stands. And they're waving back. They've come all the way here from the Jerry Baker Velodrome, where they run the racing program, run the velodrome, and run the AV squad. They've come all the way here to help us out and stream this live to you over the internet. And the beeps are going. And away we go. Sato out of the gate takes the lead. Moore onto his wheel. Garrison there, and Malakoff tight on Garrison. Good orderly start to this team pursuit. This will be a 3-kilometer race. That's 15 laps of our lovely, intimate little 200-meter velodrome. So, this distinctive event, what you'll see is the riders doing exchanges. And so one of the strategic elements and tactical elements is how often you do the exchanges and how well you do them. Moore goes to the back. Garrison on the front. It looks like they're timing out at 1-lap exchanges, very typical for this event. Garrison goes up. Malakoff takes over the pacemaking duties. This is a good, steady team. Malakoff doesn't have the advantage of pursuit bars. That's a choice. At the elite levels, you'll see most riders using pursuit bars, but I think this is a fairly ad hoc team pursuit, so good on them for giving it a try. It's very likely these riders haven't ridden this before, except maybe a few practices this weekend, at least together. I'm sure they've all done more than their fair share of team pursuits, even as young as they are. This is a U17 race. So all these riders, it's really more of a teen pursuit, if you know what I mean. Moore on the front, takes his turn, goes to the back. Garrison back on the front. Nobody seems to be skipping poles. As far as I can tell, it's even 1-lap poles. Speed so far is still above 43 kilometers an hour. 8 laps on the board. So they are very nearly at the halfway mark. Malakoff leads them through the line. It's Mark Sato on the front. Deep in his pursuit bar, deep in his pain cave. 6 laps shown to these riders as they come through. The thing about the pursuit is it's just a race of pain. It's a little too long to be done fully anaerobically. So what you end up doing is sprinting to get up to speed, being a little above your aerobic threshold on the front, getting into that pain cave, then going back for a pseudo recovery. They've dropped one rider, Malakoff. That's normal for a pursuit team. That means everything's operating as it should. Time is taken off of the wheel of the third rider. So you have to have 3 at the finish, but it's very common to have one rider go in a little extra hard and then drop out somewhere in the race. So Malakoff will just continue to circulate. Meanwhile, Garrison pulling through. Sato and Moore still with him. Garrison pulls up. It's Sato on the front. Nice smooth pulls, nice smooth cooperation. Nothing's falling apart here. This is some steady professional riding from these 3. Sato pulls through, stays on the bars as he does this change. Very good aero positions by all these riders. Well coached, 3 experienced kids, all been around a track more than once or twice, shall we say. Moore pulls them through at the bell lap. He's going to continue to lead them out. Not sure if he'll even change or if he'll just sprint. You'll likely see the riders start to stack up and sprint for the finish. Moore goes up, Garrison through, Sato done. Unofficial time on these riders, 4 minutes and 1 second. That's an impressive 44.8 kilometers an hour over 3 kilometers. Well played to these 4 riders. Good job, Malakoff, Garrison, Sato, and Moore. That would be your Jerry Baker triple cannon. Jerry Baker cannon shot. I think that's what we're going with. Next up, some other event. All right, the next thing we've got on our schedule, or schedule if you prefer, we have a women's team pursuit final. All right. We have this listed as a 5-rider women's team pursuit final, but I am reliably informed that no, just like all normal team pursuits, this will be a 4-rider team pursuit. So I'm going to try and do some quick consultation and see if I can figure out who's actually racing. So I can tell you in the Team Saskatchewan dark green kit, we have Micaiah Besler, number 322. Just above her, I see in one of the Cannondale kits, young Astrid Wurr. Second from the bottom, we've got Lily Ujfalusi. And then in the catbird seat, Annabella Stoll-Dansereau. Thank you, Zach. Stoll-Dansereau will be in the start machine. This team is racing under Cannondale TCNF. Team is racing under Cannondale TCNF. Better nicknames will be solicited during the roughly 4 minutes it will take them to complete this pursuit. All right. Oh, and the gun goes off for a false start. They'll be brought back. Fault assessed to rider number 2, Lily Ujfalusi. So that's no problem. They will get a restart. Believe the rule is So the rule on this is there's no penalty for the first false start, just a warning and a restart. Second false start results in disqualification. So I'm sure everybody will be extra careful here. Just like your second serve attempt in tennis, pretending here that I know something about tennis or serving or really bike racing itself. I will repeat the cruel heckle that race director Hans Loffelhaus just shared with me, possibly asserting that I don't know about bike racing. And away we go. Stoll Dancero, steady out of the gates. No false start this time. Uch Falusi on her wheel. Bessler third. We're on fourth position. Coming together tidily. In honor of the skin suit that Micaiah Bessler is wearing, I think we're just going to call this the Saskatchewan team. Just like the sound of that, honestly. Stoll Dancero leads out the first lap. It looks like they're also doing one lap changes. All four riders deep in the aero bars. Uj Falusi on the front. Riding steady, good position. She changes up. It's Bessler on the front, leading out her Saskatchewan teammates. Steady pull, and Bessler continues to lead the team out. She's taking a double pull here. And then she pulls up, and it's back to Astrid Wurr on the front. Looking beautiful, clean and steady. Wurr takes a half-lap pull and then drops in. These riders are sharing the efforts very nicely, making sure they keep a solid, steady pace. They will see 13 laps to go as Stoll Dancero comes through. Cheer these Saskatchewan teammates on as they roll around trying to honor two different provinces. Uch Falusi pulls up, it's back to Bessler. Let's see if she does another two-lap pull this time. See if we can discern the strategy being run here. These riders are moving at 45 kilometers an hour in perfect synchrony. And indeed, Bessler does another two-lap pull. Here they come. Bessler up, Wurr into the front. She'll take a pull. And again, she's doing a half lap. They're sharing out the efforts as they need to. Stoll Dancero on the front. Stoll Dancero looking strong and steady. All four of these riders have textbook aero positions, flat backs deep into their aero bars. Elbows near a 90-degree bend, just like Damon Renard told them to. Uch Falusi on the front, taking a turn. She saw 7 laps to go there. They are still maintaining a 45-kilometer-an-hour pace. Their 1K split was 1 minute 21 seconds. 6 to go, Bessler on the front. These riders are down to brass tacks. They see 5. That's the 1 kilometer to go mark for them. Bessler up, we're in the front. Steady pulls all the way. It'll be interesting to see if and when they drop a rider. Not sure what the strategy is. Whir pulls in smoothly, drops in smoothly. No riders going away yet. Stoll Dancero on the front. Annabella's starting to pull back ahead a little bit. The line's starting to get just a tad ragged. But they're still together. 3 to go. They posted 3 kilometers in 3 minutes 57 seconds. They're still pacing above 45 kilometers an hour. Uchvalusi in the lead. Pulls up. Bessler again. Again, we'll see. And now Uchvalusi is out. Again, that'll be planned. Uchvalusi did her pull. She's done her work. And now it's 3 riders to the bell. Bessler still in the lead. Bessler's going to lead them to the finish, quite possibly. I don't think they'll do another pull-up. So no more exchanges now, I think. Bessler will lead them out, and they'll start moving up as they go across the line, 3 wide. Unofficial time, 5 minutes, 16.205 seconds. That is a 45.54 kilometer an hour finish. Oh my goodness. I'm being shown the splits by one of the race officials. It's a model of consistency. They're within a tenth on every lap practically. Every lap was 15 seconds, some form, ranging from 15.9 down to 15.01. But you don't see pacing that steady in elite teams. So an incredible effort by these riders, just a perfectly measured team pursuit. We'll see if any other team can match that kind of perfectly measured pace. But chapeau to these 4 young women. Good ride. Was so well executed, even I almost got excited about a team pursuit. Not quite, not quite. Next up, we will have the junior men's team pursuit. This will be a single team. We will be watching a fairly familiar group of riders. This is going to be the Speedy Burritos. I'll try and roll that R for them. The Speedy Burritos. Loading into the start gate. From the Jerry's Baker team, that'll be Benjamin Rackness. Just above him is one of the 2 Dr. Walker riders. I think that's going to be, take your pick. I believe that'll be Luke Hubner. Now, Luke is at the top. He corrects me. Thanks, Luke. So that would be number 47, Parker Swanstrom in the number 2 position. And in the sandwich there, it's Aiden Crocker in the distinctive orange tag cycling kit. And we'll let them go concentrate on a bike race. Go, you burritos, go. Clean start. Hubner can't wait. But he drops into position. And it's a nice, orderly, and dare I say it, fairly quick beginning to their race. And while we wait for the early laps to tick down, I'm going to say...
well, there's a special note about Astrid here. It may or may not be Astrid's birthday today.
Well, happy birthday to Astrid Wurr. We just saw her racing in the team pursuit there a moment ago. So, what do you want? Astrid's waving me off. We're gonna respect her wishes there. But I'll get basically her teammates here on the Saskatchedales here, who just won the junior women's team pursuit, I believe. So Micaiah, right? Yeah. So you're racing for Saskatchewan today?
Well, I'm still racing for Gottman. I just didn't have enough kit, but I sometimes race for Sask, yeah.
Well, congratulations. You were doing a lot of work out there. Were the double poles a planned part?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, guess.
Have you four raced as a team much before? Did you get any practice laps in this week, or have you done more before that?
Nothing.
So this was your first time riding as a pursuit, this actual race today?
Yeah.
So did your coach talk to you about what your splits looked like during that race yet?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It was astoundingly impressive. Kim Allen came over from the Commissaires team. You guys were doing 15-second laps every time. He went as high as 15.9 and as low as 15.01, but you folks were a model of consistency. That was a pretty solid ride. There's a lot of teams that could learn from you. I've seen a lot more negative splits from pro teams than I have from you kids. All right, thanks very much, and happy birthday to Astrid. We're shyest member of the Saskatchedales, but congratulations on a great pursuit. Now back to the action on track. The Speedy Burritos continue on. They put in a 1 minute 19 second first kilometer. They're holding steady at 46 kilometers an hour. Rackness on the front. He pulls up. It's given over the lead to Parker Swanstrom. One of the two practically identical Dr. Walker riders out there. Only their mothers can tell them apart. Looks like Swanstrom is also doing double poles, if I'm not mistaken. Have to watch for these exchanges now. Up they go. Crocker on the front. Pulling steady. Riders will see 7 laps to go as they come through. Still staying together pretty well. Speed still above 46 kilometers an hour. And they continue to power on. Good steady effort. Crocker's up and it looks like he's pulling out. Again, probably a measured plan. Hubner pulling through on the front. He did a tremendous job in the Junior Omnium last night, which he won. Great fun watching these young guys go all out. Hubner pulls up. Pacing falls to Rackness again. Hubner gets back onto the wheel. No great difficulty. Rackness is still doing double pulls. So he's going 2 laps at a time. His teammates are picking up 1 each. Still above 46 kilometers an hour. 2 laps to go, guys. 2 laps to go. Dig deep. Hubner getting a little ragged on the back, but he'll get there. Swanstrom leads them through the bell lap. No exchange at the bell. Hubner's got to dig a bit. He's starting to lose that wheel, but he gets back on there. And then you'll see Swanstrom pull up, Huber pull up. Whoa! And that was a slightly more exciting than planned finish, because it looks like Crocker and Hubner had a bit of a miscommunication about where they were going on the track. But everybody stayed upright. Nobody touched wheels. Might need to change some chamois, though. Final time was totally worth it, though. 5 minutes, 8 seconds. That was a 46.743 kilometer an hour run. 46 kilometers an hour for 4 kilometers from a standing start. by junior riders. Chapeau, Speedy Burritos. You got it done. All right. We've got the men's team pursuit lined up here. Your team of 4 doing a 4-kilometer pursuit. I'm going to let the beeps do the talking for a minute, and then I'll introduce you to the riders after the start. And away they go. Teams being led out by William Fowler from the Jerry Baker Velodrome, Riley Pickrell on his wheel, then it's number 49, Alain Fazlagic of the Triple Shots, and his teammate Trevor McFarlane, number 50. Clean start all together. They're racing as the Triple Shot Red Truck Jerry Baker team. We've got to come up with a better name than that. We're going to call these the Triple Red Jerrys. Why not? Go, Triple Red Jerrys, go. You can do it. Speed maintaining steadily at 42 kilometers an hour. "16 laps to go as they pass the board. They'll see 15 next time around. This is a fairly relaxed team. If you're wondering about the seriousness of this pursuit effort, I will point out that one of these riders, and only one, is using pursuit bars. The rest are apparently trapped in some Merxian fantasy of how this event is done. But no matter, they're the only team. If they can fail to get disqualified, they're guaranteed victory. They've dropped a rider already, William Fowler. I'm gonna assume that wasn't according to plan, but there you go. He'll still get a medal. So the Triple Reds carry on. McFarlane on the front. Now it's Pickrell. He of many splinters and a couple of medals already this weekend. Powers along, looking smooth and steady. Not sure, but I think he's doing 2-lap pulls as well. Pulls up, Fazlagic on the front. Alain, the tiny terror from Victoria. He races at the Commonwealth Velodrome for Triple Shot, which, as I was reminded, is a 333-meter track. Not too big, not too small, they tell me. I say anything more than 200 meters is a complete waste. Pickrell on the front, taking over the duties. They're doing a steady 43 kilometers an hour, 42.895. Their second kilometer was a 2:47. This is a pretty relaxed pace. I'm just going to call it like it is. These guys aren't even beating the junior time so far. The Speedy Burritos did this event at almost 47 kilometers an hour. These guys are doing about 43. I could hold this wheel at the moment. Probably. I mean, I hope nobody's going to call me on that. But it's okay, we all have our priorities, and these guys only have to beat themselves today. The only reason they need to pick up their speed is honor and dignity. 5 laps to go. But they also understand team pursuit goes to the team that can stay together. .1 kilometers an hour. 3 laps to go. So I've got a little comparison for you. The women's team pursuit final put down a 45.5 kilometer an hour time. The men are moving at 43 kilometers an hour. We should have done a single elite final, because the gold medal would have gone to the women's team. Congratulations to these 3 riders. They get a gold medal for some reason. 4 riders, rather. But good ride, guys. I know this wasn't a priority, and it's nice to have this event contested. So, well ridden to the triple shot Red Truck Cherry team. Fazlagic, McFarland, Pickrell, and Fowler. 43.33 kilometers an hour. Right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you excellent news. The team pursuit and team sprint events are over now. Oh, I'm going to hear it from the endurance riders. Next up, we have the junior men's Keirin. Now, this is an event I could get behind. Because you know what makes bike racing even better? Let's just add a motorcycle. So we're going to start with the draws. We're going to do 2 heats here. So I believe we will be running heat number 1 first. These will be 4-rider heats. First heat should feature Parker Swanstrom from the Dr. Walkers. Benjamin Rackneys, you just saw him out there with the Jerry Baker Jr. team. Manu Moore, my close personal teammate for the Cannondales. And Remy Garrison, he of the Triples Shot. Riding the motorcycle today will be Keith Bruno. Bruno is himself one of the most experienced sprinters in the game. He is still a world-class sprinter in his age group, which we won't say what it is, but it's a big one. All right. So I was just discussing the decrepitude of age which comes for us all with the race officials. And now we get back to some bike racing. So it looks like the draws have been done. Lining up at the bottom in the blue and black of the Jerry Baker Velodrome, Benjamin Rackness. Right above him for the triple shots, it's the tiny terror known as Remy Garrison. And just above him, my close personal teammate, Manu Moore. True story, I work with Manu's dad. And at the top of the track, for the Dr. Walker Sports Chiropractic Cycling Group, Parker Swanstrom. 2 Victorians, 1 Vancouverite, and 1 Sammamishian. It's just fun to say that. From Sammamish, Washington, Benjamin Rackness. Riders are lined up. The bike is on the other side of the track. Very simple race. 8 laps. 3 of them behind the motorcycle as a pacemaker. So as you're watching the action, the motorcycle gets the signal to go. Motorcycle's coming around. The gun will go off. The riders will be released. And away we go. The moto moves slowly through. As he's required to do, Rackness picks up the bike. The bottom rider on the track must pick up the motorcycle, that is, take the wheel of the motorcycle, unless another rider deliberately takes the wheel from him. So the other 3 riders in this race would have had the option to be first wheel, but I got a correction from the commissar. For the first lap, they must be in order. After that, they can fight for position within the group, although honestly, you don't see that too often in these competitions. Usually, the pace laps behind the motorcycle are in fairly orderly fashion. You'll see a slightly different approach in Japan, where Keirins racing comes from, but they do it very differently. They use a bicycle pacer, and they use a flat track, and they gamble on it. So something to check out the next time you're in Japan. 4 laps on the board, so this is the lap that Keith pulls off, I believe, and there he goes. Rackness on the front, looks back. There's all his opposition. They've got 3 laps to go. 3 laps solo now. Rackness still leading from the front. Swanstrom on his wheel. My mistake, that's Garrison on his wheel. Swanstrom coming from the back now. He's over top of Moore. He might have him boxed in. 2 laps left. They're going to get the bell this time. Not much time. And it looks like Rackness is going to try and win this from the front, and he's got a shot. Garrison doesn't have to look back. He's got to go find the front wheel there. Rackness with a gap. Rackness, it's all Rackness. He's got like 6 bikes lengths. The race is for second. Garrison going hard. Garrison holds them off. Swanstrom third, Manu Moore in fourth. Top 3 qualify, so that's going to leave Swanstrom, Rackness, and Garrison as your qualifiers from Heat 1. Moore will get the minor final. Next up, we have heat number 2 of this junior men's Keirins. 3 riders will qualify. So the most important race, in a way, is not the race for the win. It's the race to be in the top 3 out of these 4 riders. Well, let's list those riders for you. From the top, in the Cannondale green, being held by his coach, Tim Schurstabidov. The Shadow, Mark Sato, number 205. Directly beneath him, we have in the tag cycling kit, Aidan Crocker from the island of Vancouver. Right below him, his island mate, Trevor McFarlane, in the blue and red triple shot team kit. And last but certainly not least, our Omnium winner last night, mugging for the camera in the black and white of the Dr. Walker team, Luke Hubner. Motorcycle is in motion. Start is imminent. And away we go. Hubner will pick up the bike. McFarlane drops onto his wheel. Crocker there. Mark the Shadow Sato in fourth wheel. They have to spend the first lap, as I was reminded, in this order on the bike. 6 laps on the board. Motorcycle pulls off at 3.5, so the last full lap with the motorcycle is when they've seen 4 to go, and then he disappears. Being a little race briefing by our chief commissaire about why the recent rule change requiring riders to drop in order. Turns out at some point the game theory went that they were actually starting to train their holders to be optimal bike throwers in order to try and gain position on that start. And at that point you were getting incredibly aggressive attacks to the wheel, incredibly aggressive starts, huge gears, and as much as I like to, in the bell lap, let's just watch some racing here. Crocker to the front. Remember, this is all about being in the top 3. So, looks like McFarlane might be in trouble here. McFarlane is the one who's going to be out. Crocker, Hubner, and Mark Sato will qualify for the major final. Anyways, the rule change was basically to avoid some incredibly chaotic, not to say dangerous starts in the Keirin. Man, I gotta tell you, when Keirin riders are going, hey, maybe this is too dangerous, that's when you know you might need to fix something. Next up, it looks like we're going to do the Masters Men Keirin Preliminaries. Heat number 1, we'll have Andrew Baker, Peter Snoblin, Eric Waterman, and John Meyer, the dirtiest man in bike racing. My opinion of John Meyer is not in any way based on nonsense personal resentments. This is pure fact, folks. Commissaires, watch Mr. Meyer carefully. So let's see how we've lined these riders up. From the bottom we have John Meyer, number 312 for the Elite Racing Team. For Broadmark Capital, we have Andrew Baker. He's in the second spot. Rider number 118, Peter Snoblin in the stripy blue jersey. And then last but not least, we'll have racing for Dyna, Eric Waterman, number 241. Get a little wave from Eric. He's just happy to be here. This is going to be a mostly Seattle team competition. John Meyer representing the locals. See if local knowledge will hold him in good stead. And away they go. Meyer picks up the wheel. Baker on him. Snoblin will be in third position, but he's a little relaxed about getting there. And Waterman in the distinctive pink, black, white jersey take his position in fourth. After one lap, they are allowed to try and change positions if they so desire. Through 6 laps on the board. My notes here say 3 qualifiers, so this will be the same as the juniors. 3 will go to the major final. 1 rider out of this heat will go to the minor final, which may present us once again with the spectacle of a 2-up Keirins race. I have no idea what that will look like. Probably just a really fast match sprint at the end. Meyer continues to hold the wheel. This is 4 to go. Bike will be gone after this lap completes. Moto has disappeared. Meyer has the lead. Baker on his wheel. Remember, it's all about the race to be in the top 3 here. Snoblin making a bit of a move. 3 to go. Waterman, time to improve your position. Meyer in trouble. No amount of underhandedness could save him here. He's just being powered away from. Come on, John. You're the only home team player here. Get on those wheels. Baker has checked out. You wouldn't know this was a tactical sprint to see him race it. Snoblin and Waterman are in the catbird seats. Meyer still in difficulty. Come on, John. Even I don't want to see you finish like this. Your qualifiers will be Baker, Snoblin, and Waterman. John Meyer to the minor final. Good racing. Next up, we have heat number 2, so 4 more Masters men. Next up, we have Neil Davies, David Miller, Mark Buchler, and Matt Barley. All right, let's look at this lineup of riders. We're starting at the top with number 232, Matt Barley. He rides only for himself from Victoria, future home of Megan and Harry. Next in line, we've got Neil Davies in the pink and black kit of the Jubilee Racing Team. He of the famous Davies family. David Miller, club president, Split Mango Racing. But he gets no favors for being the head of this velodrome. He's got to win it on the track just like everybody else. Last and certainly not least, we've got Mark Buchler from North Vancouver racing for the storied Steed Cycles team in that distinctive green-topped kit. Motorcycle gets the sign to roll. Riders are ready. Kim has the gun in hand. And the race starts with a bang. Buchler tasked with picking up the moto. He's a little relaxed in that duty. Miller with him. Davies sort of in his position. Barley kind of wondering what the heck is going on, I think. Now they're in order. 6 laps to go. Five on the board. They're still in the same order they started, everybody pacing steadily. First heat was run at 50 kilometers an hour. Let's see how these guys do. 4 to go. Moto will be pulling off in half a lap. And Butchler is in the wind, Miller on his wheel, Davies in the pink and black, and all four go up and one goes down. But he's off the track. It looks like they're not going to call the race. The race goes on. That was, I believe that was Matt Barley down. And he's walking around, but 3 riders will continue on. This means as long as these 3 finish, they should qualify. I think what's happened is there's no restart because it was late enough in the race. But all 4 riders went up track at the same time, and I think there was just a little wiggle wobble. And one rider was on the short end of that stick, so say no harm, no foul, but I believe that Matt Barley may feel there was in fact some amount of harm. With the bell, this is a cruise through because all 3 riders know they've qualified. That'll be Davies, Miller, and Butchler into the major final. So, don't worry, folks. Matt Barley will still get a ride to the minor final. I'm sure he's not happy about that, but he is walking around. Hopefully, he'll be in good order for that minor final in a little while. Yes, next heat. So the next event that we have on our schedule is the Elite and Junior Women Snowball Race. Oh, I like this one. This will be a 15-lap snowball. And we've got 5 riders. So what, you may ask, is a snowball? Well, you may ask. A snowball is a points race where the points keep increasing. First lap is worth 1 point for the first rider across the line. Second lap is worth 2 points. Third lap is worth 3 points. And you can do the math. This is a 15-lap race, so the final lap will be worth 15 points. I'm getting a little clarification here from one of the judges. But I'm not going to bother getting a clarification. In a longer race, you might be worried about what happens if a rider takes a lap, what the point rules are. In a 15-lap race, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there will be no takes a lap. Snowballs typically start out slow and run in fast. There's a bunch of strategies you can do in these sorts of things, but the short version is the early sprints aren't worth much, but it can be still worth getting a few in the bag. But it all comes down to the big finish in the late laps. Your riders in this Elite Junior Women's Snowball, we got 5 of them. We have 3 of the Cannondale powered by Fortius riders, although you'll be able to tell one of them apart very easily because racing in the Cycling BC skin suit, we've got Annabella Stoll-Dansereau, that distinctive red jersey, number 318. Her 2 teammates, Astrid Wurr in the Cannondale green, number 208 with the white helmet. Lily Uchfaluzzi, number 320 in the Cannondale green with the black helmet. Racing for the Glotman Simpson team, but disguised in her Saskatchewan skin suit, Micaiah Besler, number 322. And last and certainly not least, racing for the Bow Cycle Cyclemeisters team, Annabelle Thomas. It's a white jersey, and she's wearing number 326. This is a mass start race. Looks like we're going to put all 5 riders on the rail. So they will start from the rail, neutral lap. With a points race with points right from the start, sometimes you see a fairly aggressive neutral lap followed by a fairly fast run-in, but we'll see if any of these riders are especially eager for the early points. Pick your favorites in this race. 5 very strong riders, all very capable here. It may come down to who wants it the most, but if you had to pick a favorite, let's just say that Stoll Dancero has been tearing this track up all weekend. She put on a commanding performance in the Omnium, just utterly marshalling and strategically managing her lead all the way through the points race, despite a huge charge by Claire Cameron. Cameron's giving this race a miss this morning, so field is clear, but I would absolutely not count out Micaiah Bessler. I wouldn't count out Thomas, nor would I count out Ujvalusi or Wurr, any one of these riders. Yeah, Astrid Wurr, it's her birthday. I'm sure she wants another win for her birthday. She's already got a medal for her team sprint. Point total of these girls. And away we go. Riley Pickrell was asking me, apparently he might have to do a snowball race of 1. Think we'll do 200 laps for him, just to make it interesting. First point, first blood goes to Lily Ujfalusi, and she stays on the front, tactically choosing not to give up that lead until somebody wants it take her from her. Sometimes, in an especially dominated snowball race, you'll see one rider take up so many of the points that it turns out the top 3 ends up being anybody who got early points. So it may not be a tactical choice looking at making a win, but this may be the choice that guarantees Ujfalusi an easy second place. No shame in being a smart rider. And if she's challenging at the end, these early points will add up to something. She's taken 3 sprints already. That gives her 6 points. And nobody else has opened their account, but Astrid Wurr is looking for some points. And here she comes. Little sprint, though. Ujfalusi takes it, I think. Let's see if the judges agree. Yes, they do. Ujfalusi continues in the lead. And that's the heartbreaker of the snowball. Do a little sprint effort, get second place, earn no points. Race ticks on. Ujfalusi takes another one. She's got 15 points now. Keep doing this, Lily, and it'll add up to some real money. Good strategic effort here, and the points keep rising. So it's starting to get very worthwhile for Ujfalusi to take these early race points. She's up to 21 now. And remember, final sprint is only worth 15. Bessler doesn't like what she sees. She's coming over the top, and so is Wurr. It's going to be a contested sprint this time. Bessler takes it. She will open her account with 7 points. And away goes Bessler. Stoll Dancero doesn't like the looks of that. She can tolerate some early sprints, but she can't tolerate a breakaway like that going away, because that threatens to be the whole race with only 7 to go. And Bessler takes another one. She's at 15 points now, and now we see the advantage of these mid and late sprints. Stoll Dancero and Bessler are a race of 2 at this point. The other 3 riders are being left behind. Stoll Dancero is now on Bessler's wheel, so Bessler's 3-lap reign of terror has ended as her former teammate Stoll Dancero comes in, sharp move to the lane, and takes her first sprint. 10 points to Stoll Dancero, so let's do the score. Bessler with 24 after her 3-lap run. Ujfalusi still sitting on 21 points from her early reign of terror, but now Annabella Stoll Dancero has taken a second lap, and that's going to leave her on 21 points, already tied for second, and still going. Meanwhile, these other 3 riders have got to be desperately trying to hold out and stay away from getting lapped. Should be a tragedy. Stoldancero takes a third lap, and I believe that puts her in the lead now with 33 points. It's now 33 for Stoldancero, 24 for Bessler, and 21 for Ujfaluzi. Stoldancero takes another one. She's extending her lead, and there's only 2 laps to go. Can Bessler get back on terms? All 4 of the last 4 sprints have been Stoldancero. I think she's now got an insurmountable lead. Bell is saving our lapped riders almost. Stoldancero takes another one. She has 60 points. She cannot be caught. Sprint here for the minor placings out of these last 3 riders, but I think the top 3 are already settled. But they stay away. Stoldancero elects not to catch them, takes the points. 15 for the end. And your winner, Annabella Stoldancero. Second place to Micaiah Bessler from the Gallutman Simpsons. And her early work pays off. Lily Ujfaluzi takes third. So next up we have on the schedule a Snowball, but I am reliably informed it will be a Snowball of 1, so we're going to see how that's managed. I think we might just skip it. So I believe that given that we have no Snowball race, congratulations to Riley Pickrell. We'll just call him the unofficial Snowball winner since he was the only guy who showed up. Chapeau to Riley. Not sure if it's the first time he's won a race in the infield, but hey, I've done it myself. There's no shame in it. So we've got a Keirin minor final for the junior men. This is going to be Trevor McFarlane and Manu Moore settling positions 7 and 8. So this is about honor and revenge and honor again. Manu, the local boy, made good. Moore, my close personal teammate. Not saying I have a rooting interest in this race, but go Manu. He will be racing against the out-of-towner, the carpetbagger, the villain of our little story. I can't be mad at the triple shot team. They're such nice guys. Led here by their longtime mentor, Lister Farrer. Trevor McFarlane will be racing in the blue and red triple shot kit. It looks like he's drawn position number 2. So this is a Keirin race. They will be led out by the moto. They will be 2 up. The interesting thing will be is there's only 2 of them on the track, so it's going to be a fast lead-in to what suddenly becomes basically a very fast match sprint. I'll be extremely interested to see how these riders ride it. I won't be surprised if as soon as the bike goes away, there's a sudden slowdown, as these riders might just turn this into a match sprint. Not how the Keirin was intended to run, but that's what you get with a 2-man Keirin. Bike is in motion. Boom goes the dynamite. Ragged start by Moore, but he's on his bike and he's on that wheel. McFarlane will slot in behind Moore, as is required by the rules. Moore gets to the bike in good order. Steady pace. They will circulate behind the moto. So are you wondering why that moto's out there? It keeps the pace up and high at the start of the race, so the lead into these races is always nice and fast. Nobody tries to get too tactical. You don't have track stands like you do occasionally in the match sprint. I'm getting some angry gestures from John Meyer, the dirtiest man in match sprinting. We'll go talk to him in a little while once we watch these two boys finish their race. They'll see 4 laps on the board. That means that the moto is pulling off on the back half of this lap. Moore still on front. McFarland watching him. There goes the moto. Let's see what Moore decides to do. He stays in the lane. He's pacing along. Happy to lead McFarland out for the time being, but he's picking it up. 3 laps to go. He's going to try and ride McFarland off his wheel. Not sure about that tactic because McFarland's still there. Moore's going faster, but McFarland's still on his wheel. 2 to go. Only 400 meters, but can Moore possibly hold him off? Wait a minute, is McFarland flagging? Not sure, no. I think McFarland's still there. McFarland still on that wheel. Don't look back, Manu. The race is to the front. It's time to go. Moore still sprinting from the front, still holding off McFarland. McFarland coming. He's out of the lane. He's at Moore's shoulder, but it's a long way through the long way, and it's going to be a close sprint to the line. Moore does it! Solid effort by Trevor McFarland, but huge show of strength by Manu Moore. Wins that race from the front, holds the front, stays on front the whole time. All right. Next up, we've got another revenge match. Both of these riders have a lot to prove. Matt Barley has to prove that he still has enough skin suit left to be legal. John Meyer has to redeem his reputation as the dirtiest sprinter in Burnaby. I'm only saying that because this one time we had a friendly bar bang in a match sprint. It was super fun. But I'll never let him forget it. Don't worry, folks, I'm not bitter. I'm not resentful. I'm not mad. I don't carry a grudge like that. Barley's on the bottom. He's looking for redemption after a messy little crash in the Keirins heat. Meyer's looking for redemption because he was just kind of slow in his heat. He says it's because he's old. It's a pretty good excuse, I'll admit. My excuse is I'm fat, but what are you going to do? The motorcycle is moving. Gun goes off. Barley's away. Meyer's on his wheel. Bruno pacing them away on that motorcycle, and there's Barley. He gets up to the wheel. That motorcycle is just an exceptional draft. I've done some training runs behind it. It's just the most beautiful thing in the world to be on that huge wide wheel, and never more so than when Keith Bruno is the rider. He breaks a lot of wind, ladies and gentlemen. Barley is currently enjoying that broken wind. 5 laps on the board as they come around. Still got another lap and a half of drafting Keith. Meyer looking for any advantage, licit or ill. He may be old, but he's also guileful. You know what they say about age and guile? 4 laps to go. Bruno will pull away this time. No more motorcycle for Barley. He's going to have to think about some tactics. How he's going to snake the local boy, John Meyer. Barley goes up track. Apparently not afraid of what happened last time he did that. Meyer alongside. It is devolving into a sort of fast match sprint, as I guessed. They're both on the rail. Meyer holds him high. Barley started his sprint. Meyer trying to match, but he's a little slow. And Barley goes all the way to the infield. I've never seen that. He went below the coat, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure what the judges will have to say about that, but he regains the track. Meyer still on his wheel. 2 to go. That was a ragged sprint, ladies and gentlemen. Meyer on the front goes up. They're going to get the bell this time. I'm not even sure this is a bike race anymore. It's more a combination travesty / stunt show. Sprint hasn't engaged yet. There's only 200 meters left, guys. Barley is in the lane. Meyer's on top of it, and they're going for it. I think they're just having some fun now. I half expect a wheelie at the line, and it's Meyer by a nose. Folks, I don't know what I just saw, but you may want to watch that part of the stream again later. Anything can happen in a bike race, and for a few magic laps, everything did. That was the most major minor final I have ever seen. A more revolting spectacle for 7th place you will not observe in the future. Next up, the Elite Junior Women's Keirin. This is the major final. Warning to rider 232, Matthew Barley, for riding on the blue band, which does not technically constitute part of the track. And if there's a little editorial here, I think that maybe there was some diplomatic leeway being shown to a visitor, because he wasn't so much riding on the track as riding on the volleyball court there about mid-race, but I guess the judges decided that no advantage was gained, and we all had a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Keirin to do, but I am definitely interviewing Barley and Meyer, because I think we've now identified the two filthiest bike racers in Burnaby. Each one of them more horrible than the last, attempting to make a travesty of this good and noble sport, so untainted by scandal. How could they do such a thing? Feel sorry for people like them who can't believe in miracles. The gun goes in our junior women's, elite women's combined major final. Taking the bike, you've got number 324, McKenna McKee in the blue TCNF kit. On her wheel, Astrid Wurr, 208 in the green Cannondale. Number 3. I'm going to slow down until I can read a number here. Number 326 is, of course, Annabelle Thomas from Calgary, Alberta, racing for the Cycle Meisters. 317, Samantha Hargraves, Beachy Sport, also of Calgary. 322 in the dark green Saskatchewan jersey is Micaiah Bessler, ostensibly racing for Glotman Simpson, but she ran out of clean clothes. Annabella Stoll-Dansereau, thanks, Zach. Cannondale team, but she's racing in this red jersey of Cycling BC's team. And number 320 on the back, as is required for the first lap at least, Lily Uchvalusi. 4 to go, the bike is about to pull off, and then we're gonna have some action. And hopefully nobody on the code except for Keith Bruno. McKee continues to lead from the front. We're still shadowing her. Hargraves coming over the top. She's bringing Micaiah with her. It's a close, gnarly little race. 2 to go. It's sprinting time, ladies. It's all happening. Bessler at the front. They're going to get the bell this time. Bessler to the front. She's going neck and neck with McKee. The field's being left behind. It'll be a sprint for third at this point. Bessler still trying, but it's McKee at the front. And it's going to be McKee, Bessler, and Astrid Wurr for an impressive bronze medal. Sneaky, sensible riding by the birthday girl, Astrid Wurr. Chapeau to our winner, McKee, and Bessler in second. Tour de force. But the birthday girl, Astrid Werr, got a bronze medal there out of pure sneakiness and moxie. That's what I like to see in a bike race. Not like those awful, awful Masters men. Oh, I laugh. They try hard. I mean, they do quite well for considering their age. All right, ladies and gentlemen, commiserating with some of those Masters riders about the joys of preferred entry across the border. Nexus, it's what's for dinner. We have a little bit of a wobble there. Let's introduce you to the junior men. Let's see if I can get this right this time. Hubner's looking at me from the middle of it. Parker Swanstrom on the top, number 47 for the Dr. Walkers. Right beside him, the shadow, Mark Sato in the green of the Cannondales. Next up, we've got the Tag Cycling's Aidan Crocker. Then we've got the triple shot Remy Garrison, Luke Hubner in the other Dr. Walker kit, and then right at the bottom, from Sammamish, Washington, racing for the Jerry Baker Juniors, Benjamin Rackness. Back on the attack after knee surgery. Wants to remind you, break a leg is not good luck in a bike race. Gun goes off. Rackness will take the wheel. Everybody fairly orderly. They've got a lineup 1 through 6. Crocker waits to take his place. The shadow's there. He knows what's going on. Swanstrom at the back. With a 6-long train, maybe some of these riders will be thinking about moving up before the bike goes off. Hard to say for sure. 6 to go. Everybody in good order. Nobody trying a little tactical cheekiness at this point. Rackness continues to hold the wheel. Everybody else seems to be in the same order as before. Hubner, second wheel. Garrison of the triple shots is in third. 4 to go. They're going to lose the motorcycle in half a lap. And away goes the pace bike. Rackness is pushing wind. He's got 6 riders lined up nose to tail, 3 to go. Nobody's coming around. Is Rackness going to win this from the front? He's not sure. A little dip to the coat there. Rackness powers through, 2 to go. Can he win this from the front? Maybe he thinks so. Everybody else's line astern. I guess it's getting pretty zesty in the pace line. Crocker making a go. Bell lap. Rackness starting to gap these riders. He is going to try and win from the front. Hubner in second, Crocker on his shoulder. Sato trying to come around. No dice. Little sketchy, but Rackness takes it. Crocker at the line, Hubner third. Powerful, powerful sprints from those riders. Chapeau, full points for that effort. That was a huge ride from the front by Benjamin Rackness. I guess his knee has healed. Next up, We have the best of a bad bunch, the Masters Men Keirin Major Final, 1st through 6th. This is being listed as part of an Omnium. Who knew? I did not. Neil Davies is leading the Omnium right now if you're playing along at home. John Myers in 2nd place, but his Keirin finish won't have done him any good. 40 points to Matt Barley, he's in 3rd. He was the other guy in the minor final, so he also won't make much point advantage here. And then we've got 3 riders you could throw a blanket over. At 38 points, Uli Meyer, 36 for David Miller, and 36 for Mark Bushler. Meyer I don't see up there, so... Sprint Omnium, probably a made-up classification anyways. We'll just call it like it is. This is for all the marbles, probably. Masters Men Keirin, should have introduced you to the riders, but we'll get to that as they go around. On the pole line, in the sprinter's lane, more or less, Peter Snoblin in that distinctive stripy jersey. He races only for himself. He's an independent rider here this week. Gun, and away they go. Snoblin making a relaxed start. A bunch of riders are going to have to wait for him. This could be ugly. Snoblin's still very slow. What gear has he got on there? He has barely gotten towards the front of the bike. He's still got to make some time. But after that extremely awkward beginning, we've got a fairly normal-looking pace line. My guess is that is about as bad as a start as you can see before the officials would have intervened. So, no warnings, no disqualifications, but you all ought to count yourself a bit lucky there. Bruno continues to lead this somewhat steadier field out. They will see 4 to go, which means no more moto after this half a lap. Moto's going bye-bye in a moment. Snoblin continues to lead, but already the field is beginning to make its moves. I see, as the bike disappears, already Miller and Davies are gone, baby, gone. They're going to go for a 3-lap attack here. Rest of the riders are not getting on terms. Leading the chase, number 241, that's Eric Waterman from Dyna Racing in Seattle. Miller is with him. My mistake. That's Andrew Baker on the front. It's Baker and Neil Davies leading the pace. Miller is in the field. Mark Butchler is in the back there. Peter Snoblin is lost at sea. On the bell, it's going to be Baker and Davies for the sprint. And it's Baker in the corners. It's Baker on the front. It's Baker by a bike. Davies second. Miller sneaks through for third. 4th and 5th will be some other riders. Waterman followed by Butchler. Snoblin brings up the rear for 6th place, I think. Very interesting race. Not necessarily in the ways you want a race to be interesting, but whatever. Masters racers, what are you gonna do? All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The schedule of real events has ended, but we've got one more very special event. We've imported this from the wilds of suburban Seattle, from a little place now called the Jerry Baker Velodrome, but once known as the Mary Moore Velodrome. And the Mary Moore Velodrome gives its name to a very special race. very special, if you know what I mean. This is called the Marymore Crawl. Yes, it is. It's the Marymore Crawl. All right, Tyler Davies is being paged to the Marymore Crawl. I think he'll make it if he hurries. Anyways, what is the Marymore Crawl, you may ask? Better people than myself have asked that very same question, along with why does it exist, and who thought this was a good idea? Also, I'm going to direct your attention away from whatever's happening on the track at the moment. Guarantee that's not a good idea. Anywho, the Marymore Crawl is a very simple race. It's an unknown start. So the rules of the Marymore Crawl are, everybody starts in corner 4. You get up onto the track, no dilly-dallying with the coat. You have to be somewhere between corner 4 and the start line. But what you don't know is when the race will start. So riders will have to do a track stand, or be careful, or just ride really, really slow in order to make sure that they do not cross the start line before the race is started. So just as in an unknown distance race, you don't know when the gun's gonna go, or the bell's gonna go, in the Marymore Crawl, you don't know how many minutes you have to track stand before we do the gun to start this race. But once the gun goes off, it's a one-lap race. I was being given a little secret insider information by one of our race officials. But if I did see the right answer, I'll never tell. So we've got our racers being assembled in the far corner. Hopefully Tyler Davies has made it over there. This one's just for fun. Nobody's going to create a Marymore Crawl World Championship, although I suppose you're only a jersey and some audacity away from making your own World Championship for that. Don't tell the UCI, they won't like it. And they'll be right. Anyways, attempts to rename this as the Jerry Baker Crawl have been utterly unsuccessful, and who can blame them? It's a charming memorial to the original name of that track. Instructions are being given. Not sure why the race officials are involved. This is hardly a race at all. Anyways, to continue our description, once the gun goes off and the race is started, everybody has to finish one lap. So, the advantage is, can you time it right? So what are some of the key rules of the Marymore Crawl? Once you go up on track, you can't put a foot down. You can't ride onto the coat. You can't touch the rail. Do any of those things and you're out. Your race is over. Go home. All right, so instructions have been given to the riders. They've been told all the ways they can get themselves disqualified from this race. For example, you can't ride backwards, you can't roll backwards, you can sort of hop in place, you can rock on your wheel without getting disqualified. You can't touch another rider, but I'm sure smack talk is all good. The time will be indeterminate, but what they're going to do is they're going to circulate around, as you can see here in the infield, and then they will be called up onto the track. Once all the riders are up on track, the timer will start again. Nobody knows what the timer says except the race officials. I could ask them, but I hope they won't tell me because I can't keep a secret. Heaven knows. They're just messing with me. All right, so the riders are gingerly getting up in position. Some brave enough to go very close indeed. I see Aiden Crocker taking a brave, courageous position, and Mark Sato is going to try and match him spot for spot. Riley Pickrell and Tyler Davies, two old hands at this. Up by the rail, judiciously back. Couple riders not quite up. Keith Bruno, got to be a favorite here. You saw him riding the motorcycle. I'm not sure he violated the no touching rule there or not, but Keith is holding it steady right in front of us. And we've got one rider down already. Oh, we've got another fall, and it looks like David Miller is out. Oh, and we've got a couple riders going over the line. No bueno. Oh, number 42. A real favorite here. Baker should have been able to do this. Two more of the Seattle riders have had enough. Bruno moving up. So Keith Bruno, do you have time for an interview? Riley Pickrell trying to look very casual, but I think that foot is going to be a problem. Now he's just tickling Michael Go. That's not Michael Go. Oh, it is? There it is. It's Michael Go. Michael holds steady like a good sprinter should. Riley Pickrell getting intimate with Keith Bruno, but he's finally kicked clear of the track. And we've got 7 riders holding steady. Couple of good, sharp juniors in here, too. Impressive track stands all around. Everybody looks like they could do this for quite some time, but I'm not sure how long they have to go. Whistle is in the chief commissaire's mouth. He's looking at his stopwatch, but he might be bluffing. And Go moves forward. Maybe he's trying to take a hint, but... Oh! And it's Go! And Go has probably done a pretty good job there. Sneaky move to the coat, but I think they're going to allow that after the whistle. Sato takes an early lead. Go is right with him, and he's a huge sprinter. Go is away to the races. Crocker's there at the line. It's going to be Go, Crocker, and Mark Sato getting into the top 3 with steady, steady skills. That was some fast riding and some smart riding and some smart fast riding. And sure enough, Keith Bruno sneaks through at 4th place. There may be a review. Perhaps someone removed their hands from the bars. I'm not sure, but honestly, who cares about the rules? It's the Marymore crawl. So Riley Pickrell, what do you think happened out there? You say that Go may have taken his hands off the bar.
I completely believe Go took his hands off the bar, so he is about to be relegated, and the win's going to go to Sato.
Was he taking his hands off the bars to shoo you away from his leg?
No, I think he was just showboating.
All right, controversial news delivered straight from Riley Pickrell. Perhaps some of these disputes will be settled in the parking lot. Who's to say? No cameras out there, I can tell you. So late ruling from the officials. Michael Goh was the winner. He only took one hand off the bars while swatting away the extremely annoying Riley Pickrell in that Marymore crawl. All right, so we're beginning to get ready for the very final thing you're going to see on the live stream here tonight, or in person for that matter. We've got the medal ceremony. I have it on good authority. We're going to start with some of the Masters racers. So riders, we could have you all over towards the medal podium as soon as you can get here. We are ready to start the award ceremony. I'd like to give a very special thanks before we go to all the folks who have made this race weekend possible. The race jury, our wonderful commissaires who have come from far and wide to make this a properly sanctioned event. Our friends at racetiming.ca who provided timing and photo services all weekend. The Edwards family, straight out of the Jerry Baker Velodrome, came all the way here so that you could watch this stream online from wherever the world you are. I'd like to thank all of the great volunteers who made this event super possible. Without you, this bike race doesn't happen. I'd like to express my appreciation to race director Hans Loffelhaus and Velodrome President David Miller. They've done tremendous work in the run-up, along with their board of directors and all the others to get this going. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the bike racers and to the families of bike racers who have brought them here from far and wide. We've got a lot of juniors, and they wouldn't be here without family support. And last but not least, all right, folks. So we are going to begin tonight's ceremonies. This afternoon's ceremonies, just barely this afternoon's, as we tick past the noon hour. We're going to begin with the award ceremony for the Masters Men's Sprint Omnium. So this was an event with 3 stages. They started with a time trial, then they had a sprint tournament, and finally they finished off with some unusually exciting Keirins racing, including some stuff that was borderline a fiasco.
Okay.
All right.
Waiting for Mark.
All right, so we're going to go straight into it. Thank you to all our racers, but we're going to do the top 3 here. In 3rd place, winning the bronze medal for Steed Cycles, Mark Buchler. Wait, we're having a little technical difficulties, so we're going to call timeout on this podium for a moment while I confer with the race organizers. We're going to do a little delay here because there's a conversation about the results. We're going to reward the Marymore crawl now because we are quite confident about the results of that. we're going to do the top 3 for the Marymore Crawl. This was a fun little event. Yeah. Keith Bruno is complaining mightily. Take your lumps like a man, Keith Bruno. In third place, my close personal teammate from the Cannondale Powered by Fortius team, the Shadow, Mark Sato. He put on a beautiful start to that race. He was rock steady, and he went when it counted. And he pipped the bitter Keith Bruno right at the line. But it's okay, Keith's over it. Your runner-up today, another one of our junior riders from Tag Cycling, Aiden Crocker. And your winner from the wilds of Alberta. Well, we'll let Aiden get his medal. And your winner from the wilds of Alberta, he once ate 12 eggs in one sitting, or what I call a light breakfast, Michael Coolhand. Go! Congratulations to our Marymore Crawl winners. It's always a fun event, and I hope you had as much fun watching it as we did putting it on. Okay. All right, moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do some results from the Snowball races you saw today. We're going to call up the women's Snowball. So this was a combined elite junior women, and we'll go top 3. In third place, winning the bronze medal from the Cannondale Powered by Fortius team, Lily Ujfaluzi. On the second step, winning silver medal from the Glotman Simpson team, Micaiah Bessler. And your winner tonight, racing for Cannondale, powered by Fortius, Annabella Stoll-Dancero. Some fantastic racing by all of the women in this field. Truly the future of cycling. So, Micaiah, I'll get you to step away, but Annabella and Lily, don't go far. Turn right around and head back up towards that podium. Because we've got you as the winners of the Junior Women's Team Sprint. The Cannondale team, Annabella Stoll-Dancero and Lily Ujfaluzi. Next, we're going to go straight into the Masters Omnium. They've been waiting not very patiently. They're worried about how many moments they have left. It's time for their nap. They all need a cup of tea and a sit down. We understand, guys. Many of them have probably already forgotten where they finished in this Omnium. In third place, racing for Split Mango Racing Team, David Miller. Woo! Your runner-up in the Master Sprint Omnium, racing for the Elite Racing Team, my personal enemy, John Meyer. I give John a lot of stick, but he's a fantastic guy and a great volunteer. He's actually been the club treasurer for many years here. Your winner tonight for the Jubilee Racing Team, Neil Davies. Congratulations to our Master Sprint Omnium winners. Next, we're going to do the Junior Men's Sprint Omnium. So again, we'll go top 3. You may recognize third place from such events as the Omnium win last night for the Dr. Walker Sports Chiropractic Cycling Team, Luke Hubner. In second place, racing for the Cannondale Powered by Fortius team, Mark Sato. And your winner tonight, coming up here from Seattle for the Jerry Baker Juniors team, Benjamin Rackness. This was, if I'm not mistaken, Benjamin's recovery race after a long absence from bike racing due to knee surgery. So congratulations. It looks like he's fully recovered, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your Junior Men's Omnium Sprint winners. Next, we're going to do the Team Sprint Final. It's a great event. I'm almost embarrassed to read these names. So we've got 3 winners for each team. So first, Manu Moore, Mark Sato, and Riley Pickrell in third place. Manu Moore, Mark Sato, and Riley Pickrell, you were in third place as the 3 Musketeers. We're going to have a wait a moment for Riley to get decent. I think he was just trying to air out his splinter wounds. Your runners up, Michael Go, Ryan Dudick, and Benjamin Rackness, racing under the bizarre name Thick Jagger. Guess they were all born in a Class 5 hurricane. Lots of good sportsmanship there, and now we go on to the winners. Your winners tonight, Tyler Davies, Guy Not Guy McClintock, and Keith the Big Gorilla Bruno, the Flying Gorillas. Congratulations to our team sprinting teams. We apparently have developed into a impromptu wrestling match here. Remember, guys, all fistfights to be settled in the parking lot. That's not actual advice, folks. Kids, don't be like me. Congratulations to our team sprint winners. Next up, we're going to give the awards for our junior men team sprint finalists. Your runners-up, the triple shot team, Alen Fazlagic, Trevor McFarlane, and Remy Garrison. I think we caught them a bit by surprise, but they're getting dressed and they're heading up there. So that was second place, so good job, guys. They put up a 45-kilometer-an-hour team sprint, not bad at all. But your winners tonight, racing as a mixed team, but I think we call them the Flying Burritos, Luke Hubner, Aiden Crocker, and Parker Swanstrom. There's a completely indescribable incident that just happened off camera. You can ask people about it later. Congratulations to our Team Sprint Juniors. Good racing all around. Next up, we have the U17 Team Pursuit Final. These kids put in nearly a 45-kilometer-an-hour ride for 3 kilometers. Itai Malakoff, Remy Garrison, Mark Sato, and Manu Moore, riding as Jerry's Triple Cannons. Top shelf, boys, you won it all. As the saying goes, 90% of everything is showing up. You beat all the kids who didn't come here tonight. Keep saying tonight, still today. Sun hasn't set yet. Women's team pursuit final, 4 kilometers. They did this in 45 kilometers an hour. It's the Cannondale TCNF team, Micaiah Bessler, Astrid Wurr, Lily Ujfalusi, and Annabella Stoll-Dancero. I was talking to these 4 earlier, and a happy birthday to Astrid Wurr. She gets a gold medal for her birthday. What could be better? This was the first time they'd ridden a team pursuit together, but they rode it in style. Excellent pace. Congratulations, ladies. Next up, we have the women's, whoops, nope. We already awarded that one. Next up, we have the junior men's team pursuit final. This will be a reprise for a bunch of these riders. It's the Speedy Burritos, Benjamin Racknes, Parker Swanstrom, Aiden Crocker, and Luke Hubner. All right, congratulations to the Burritos. Nicely done. All right, next up, we've got the men's team pursuit results. So we're just waiting for one of them to get slight first aid due to what I can only describe as a podium tragedy. Folks, don't be too exuberant in your podium celebrations. Someone might get hurt. For the triple shot Red Truck Jerry team, it's William Fowler, Trevor McFarlane, Alen Fazlagic, and Riley Pickrell. Riley's had multiple injuries this weekend. He had about 1 million splinters come out of his back after a crash on Saturday morning. And he just recently suffered from an overly exuberant podium celebration which left him cut over the eye. But he's fully recovered and just happy to be here. All right. Does anybody think we missed any events? No? Oh, women's team sprint. I'm glad we checked. Look, folks, this is hard, okay? Like, I have to, read things and look at things and read things. In second place, oh gosh, I wouldn't have missed this event for the world, just for the team names. In second place, Annabelle Thomas and Samantha Hargraves racing as Team Daddy's Princesses. You think it's a funny name, then you hear it over and over again. But your winners tonight, McKenna McKee and Micaiah Bessler racing as the Double Mac. Double Mac put in a 43-kilometer-an-hour ride. Pretty solid. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to Hans to give some thanks as we congratulate these sprinters on their team sprint victories.
All right, I just want to give a big shout out to all the riders that are still here, and thank you very much for coming to the 2020 version of the Western Track Challenge. We hope that you guys can use this experience to do great things at the Nationals coming up in April, but we do have another bare bones coming up in March. First off, I'd like to thank our commissaire panel over there on the start-finish line of this set. I think they've done a great job of being fair and enforcing the rules this weekend for fair play, so thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank the team of volunteers that have been bike holding and cleaning up and setting up today, so thank you everyone out there volunteering. And as that brings a wrap, thank you very much. We've got the gate open so you guys can go through the track. We have team dismantling. If you have a bit of time and you want to help dismantle, please feel free to. But thank you everyone for coming out, and we'll see you again next time.
My apologies to everyone. We've got one more event to do. We've got the Women's Keirin, which was a separate event today, I believe. There was a second individual Keirin, so just a sec, we're going to call up those results. Thanks for the heads up. It's very embarrassing. One moment as I get Corey and Hans to find that. This was a fun little Keirin. Okay, we've got the results. In third place, yes, I remember this. In third place for the Cannondales, Astrid Wurr. Happy birthday again, Astrid. She snuck onto the podium with some real smarts. In second place, Micaiah Bessler.
Oh, you're right. Snowball.
And your winner of the Elite Junior Women's Keirin, McKenna McKee. In all of their events, these Elite Junior women provided some of the most fantastic racing all day. I was super impressed to see them. Chapeau, you did indeed entertain us. Thank you very much to these racers and to everybody out there. And with that, we're going to call an end to this Western Challenge, and I'll turn it over to Hans.
Should probably conclude with one special shout out to our friends from Jerry Baker who have been doing the video footage on this. So thank you very much, Corey and Amara. Woo! Fantastic.